Welcome back, everyone, to my third episode of the Gamma Tips and Tricks series. Before we get into this episode, here's some pictures of the cats. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, for the first tip, this is something that can only be done as a loner. You might know Fanatic. He's the one who normally gives you the tutorial mission, but what you might not have known is that you don't actually have to do his quests, and you can gain him as a permanent follower that way. Now all you have to do is go up to Fanatic, talk to him, and say, you know, I could actually use a little help of my own. I'm ready to learn. And once you begin that, he'll give you some ammo and the boar hunting quest. Now you can go ahead and do this boar hunting quest. This quest does not matter. He will stay with you after this quest. It is the following quest that you don't want to do. Any more? Yep, there's one more. There we go. We're done with that. All right, now all we have to do is talk to Fanatic, say, phew, that was crazy, and there we go. This is the next mission that we are not going to do. As long as we don't do this mission, we don't have to worry about Fanatic leaving us at all. So if you check your map, you'll notice he wants you to go over here to this anomalous area. All you have to do is just avoid this little area right here. As long as you avoid it, Fanatic will stay in your party indefinitely. Now, technically, it's not indefinite because he can easily die, but this is one of the greatest first companions you can possibly get early on as a loner. All right, now the next tip involves campfires. As you might know, in base Gamma, campfires are very important. Now, first of all, your overall health will start going up when nearby them, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm almost back to full health. But campfires also allow you to save. However, I'm going to show you how to disable that in-game just in case you don't like that option. For example, for me, I do a one-life series. In other words, I should be able to quick save whenever I want because if I die, it's over. All that you have to do to disable campfire saving is click escape, go to the bottom, click mod configuration menu, scroll all the way to the bottom until you come across Yaks, and there you go. Just click on that and apply. Now you can quick save wherever you want. But let's say you enjoy campfire saving and currently you're in the middle of nowhere and you have to get off the game no matter what and you can't save. One thing that you can do every 180 seconds is click shift and F5 and it will do a daddy save. As you can see at the bottom, it says bottom left, a daddy token. Now that will allow you to quick save wherever you are, period. However, there is another way to quick save wherever you are that most people don't talk about. If you go to any major trader, you might remember in the last episode, we bought a ton of firewood because if you disassemble it, then you will get wood. However, there is another thing you can do. So go ahead and buy some firewood. And if we right click, you're going to notice that you can click use. So let's get out of here real quick and find a spot that we want to place down a campfire at. As you can see, Corden has a lot of campfires. So how about we go somewhere that is more likely for you to not be able to find one? All right, so here we are on the east side of Truck Cemetery, and as you can see, there are no campfires near us. Actually, a worse place to be is Jupiter, because Jupiter barely has any campfires. But as you can see in the bottom left, we are on low HP, so this is a perfect time for us to be able to place down a campfire. So let's go in our inventory, right-click, click use, and apparently surface not sufficient. So here, we got to find a flatter spot. Yeah, this right here looks good. This is pretty flat. So once again, use, and there we go. We are placing down a campfire. And once we fade back in, right there it is, a campfire. So now all I have to do is ignite it, and there we go. We can start AFKing near this and getting our HP back, and we can quick save. Now, I will admit, I wouldn't normally carry this around, mainly because just having a single one of them is about 1.2 kilograms. But if you think it's worth it and you're using campfire saving, this might be really nice. Because as you can see in the bottom left, we are just sitting next to it and we are regaining almost all of our health. And by the way, campfires will not heal your limbs. However, there is a mod that allows campfires to heal your limbs. So I'm going to have that link down in the description just in case you want it. All right, for the next tip, let's say that you disassemble literally everything you see. Every weapon that you don't need, every shovel, every hammer, no matter what, you disassemble it. And you have plenty of metal and plenty of wood. One thing you might not know about workbenches is they actually sell for a lot if you craft more of them. This tip is mainly going to be useful for those of you who literally disassemble every weapon and every single thing you see. So all we got to do is go to the hideout furniture, scroll down until we see the workbenches as usual, and there we go. We're going to go ahead and craft two. Now that we're done crafting, we're going to go straight to the technician. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is you want to only sell it to the technician because they are the only ones that'll give you a high price for it. So let's go ahead and trade with him. And as you can see, one of them is worth 6,562. And if you have a ton of wood and a ton of metal, which you are going to have a ton of, assuming you are disassembling everything you see for the most part, this is a good way to make a little bit of extra cash when you need some. All right, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is the heavy armor repair kit. Based on my stream, I can tell a lot of people don't realize that there are two recipes right here, and the difference between them is this one requires advanced tools. That's right, you can craft it with advanced tools, and it is way more expensive, or you can craft it using expert tools, which is way cheaper. If you're doing a normal playthrough, this is basically the only way that you can repair heavy armor before doing the Brain Scorcher and going up north. Now, all we need is 6 uses of 80 glue, 4 uses of the 65 heavy sewing kit. Yes, 2 advanced tools. We are going to be sacrificing advanced tools in order to create this. And we're going to need 10 uses of the medium armor repair kit. Now, keep in mind, I said uses. You do not need 10 medium armor repair kits, just uses. Each one has 4 uses. Therefore, you only need 3. But let's say luck isn't on your side, and every yellow stash you search, you can only get basic tools. You can get nothing else. Well, guess what? There is actually a crafting recipe for some advanced tools. As you can see right here, all you need is 5 basic tools and some metallic scrap. However, you can actually get this down to just 4 basic tools, assuming you craft a lot of items, because eventually you're going to get an achievement that will allow it to reduce the crafting requirements by 1. Now, one of the easiest ways to get the achievement is just by doing what you would normally do, in other words, crafting ammo. So all we're going to do is just craft a bunch of ammo, and keep in mind, the achievement will only pop when we exit from this crafting screen. All right, I think I've crafted enough ammo. Let's exit out and see. Yep, there we go. Unlock the Artificer Eagerness achievement. Sorry, Artificer. By the way, after getting this achievement, if you notice, it is still 5. All you have to do is quick save and quick load. And now that we're back in game, all I need is 4. But as you can see, I'm missing 3 basic tools. So let me show you 2 ways that you can get basic tools really early on in your playthrough. Now, right here in Yantar, there's a food merchant where you can turn in 20 uses of red vodka in order to get 1 basic tools. Now, there are 2 recipes that allow you to create red vodka. Both of them require another type of vodka. However, all you have to do is go to a food merchant once again, and you should be able to not only buy the red vodka, but the other types too. So let's quickly run down to Barkeep so I can show you it. All right, so let's go ahead and trade with him. And at the bottom, as you can see, I can buy the white, I can buy the red, I can buy this other one. There we go. Buy all of that. All right, so we're back at the workbench. Let's go ahead and craft some more of the red vodka. There's 1, there's 2. And you're just going to keep doing that until you get 20 red vodka, as you can see right here. And now we're going to make our way over to Yantar. All right, now that we're in Yantar, all we're going to do is come over to this guy named Spirit right here, talk to him, and you're going to have to ask, who are you? And after you talk to him, there we go. As you can see, you can actually turn in vodka for ammo, but that's not why we're here. So let's go ahead and scroll down and choose a basic toolkit. There we go. That's one way to get the basic tools. All right, now the next way to get basic tools involves Hip down in Cordon. So let's go ahead and head back down there. All right, now that we're down in the Rookie Village, you're going to be looking for this NPC right here called Hip. All you want to do is talk to her, say, I'd like to ask you some questions. Sound like a good deal to me, I'll do it. And she wants you to find a TAWS 194 and 20 buckshot rounds. Now, the thing about this TAWS right here is it's actually really easy to obtain because a lot of bandits use it. So honestly, just do a couple of bandit kill quests all throughout Cordon, and eventually you will get it to drop. This is one of the fastest quests that I do typically in a new playthrough to get basic tools. So now with the TAWS in our inventory and the 20 buckshot, let's talk to her again and say, here, delivery as promised. And there we go. She gave us basic tools. Now, if you do want to get Hip as a companion, all you have to do is turn in 8 snort cans. So just keep that in mind. All right, now that we're back at base, let's go ahead and craft that advanced tools. And boom, we are done. So now, keep in mind, technically, we don't need 3 advanced tools. You might think you need 1 for crafting and 2 to sacrifice. However, all you need is 2. Just keep in mind that once you do this, you will lose all your advanced tools. So now you just craft the rest. Craft a couple of these heavy sewing kits and craft some medium armor repair kits. If you don't have the crafting supplies and would rather just waste your money, you can go to the technician and just go ahead and buy it here. And now that we've got everything, all we have to do, there we go, craft, done. So there you go. That's basically the only way to repair heavy armor without going north first. Now, the next tip involves one of my favorite items in the entire game, the Binoculars. So let's go ahead and buy that. Once you equip these, all you have to do is click 4 to bring them out and put them away. And the first time you zoom in, you might think, wow, that's really underwhelming. But one thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually upgrade your binoculars. And not only can you upgrade them, you can give them night vision. Now, if you right-click on your binoculars and go to details, let's scroll down, and as you can see, we can get up to a 20x zoom, we can get 3 different levels of night vision, and we can even get a weight reduction. So let's go ahead and see about those upgrades. All right, I'm on top of this tower just to show you. This right here is the basic binoculars. You can zoom in a decent bit, you can make out the weapon, but it's not that tight of a zoom. But let's go ahead and upgrade it all the way to 20x. All right, so now with the 20x zoom, we can go all the way in and you can really see the weapon now. You can be certain about what weapon this person is using. And I find this is particularly useful for the quest where you're supposed to be rescuing an undercover agent and they're using an SVD and you're trying to kill them from afar. And having these binoculars are also great for people doing an Iron Man series because you always want to scout out what's ahead rather than just running in blind. All right, but now let's see about the night vision. I've actually never upgraded this because I've never found it to be too useful. Let me see what tier 1 looks like. So, yep, that's green, all right. Now, I'm assuming this last upgrade will make it blue, question mark? Oh, it'll make it white. Okay, I see. I've never used this before. It's actually quite interesting. Without the binoculars, we can just barely tell that there's a guy standing right there. But now with the binoculars, yep, we can see him quite well. All right, now let's talk about depth of field. Me, personally, I really dislike depth of field. I hate how it blurs everything around the corners. When you open your PDA, it blurs the corners. When I aim down sight, it blurs the corners. So let me show you how to disable that. Go to your settings, go to mod configuration menu, scroll down until you see SSS settings. And you're going to click on weapon DOF. And as soon as you do this, just set everything to 0 and disable all this down here. That way, it's no longer blurry when you're reloading, using the PDA, and doing the inventory. Because who knows when it's going to blur some important detail that might get you killed. All right, now for the final tip, let's say that you plan on doing Brain Scorcher sometime soon. However, you really wish you had a companion, but you don't have enough store cans to get hip, and you aren't a loner, so you can't get Fanatic. So how else can you get temporary companions? And the answer is right here, looking for an experienced stalker who can lead me to Darkscape. That's right, you can get a guide mission and just take them wherever you want. Now keep in mind, if you don't take them exactly where they want within their allotted time, they won't leave you. However, they will not give you the full amount of money they promise. So let's go ahead and find this sergeant. Now, annoyingly, he just says he's near the duty base, so I don't really know what that means, but let's go looking for him. Oh, he's like literally right over here near the medic. So all we're going to do is talk to him, say, I heard your message, need a guide, give me some details. As you can see, he's willing to give us almost 12k rubles if we take him to Darkscape within 10 hours. As I mentioned, you don't have to take him there if you don't want, so I can say, alrighty, let's go. Now he's joined our party. And you might also notice that another person joined our party, because sometimes guide missions have multiple people attached to them. Now, let's say that you're done with the Brain Scorcher, but you really don't want to go to Darkscape just to deliver this guy. All you have to do is talk to him again, say about the job, and say, I've changed my mind. I'd prefer to cancel the job. Yes, I'm sure. And there we go. You are done with that. All right. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Gamma Tips and Tricks, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.